Welcome to another episode of the Franchise Academy. And this is Franchise Frontrunner, the sub-podcast where we talk to front-running podcasters or front-running franchise owners, I should say. And today I have a dynamic franchise owner with me, Melody Montgomery, who is the owner of Two Maids Mop in Central Florida. So on this podcast, we're bringing in Melody. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. So good to have you on the podcast.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, this is so great. And it's interesting because I was on a podcast with your leader of Two Maids, Ron Holt. You heard the podcast and you said, I want to get on Tom's podcast. And you had the gumption just to email me and do it. I give you tremendous credit for that.
Thank you.
It's really so cool. So how long have you been in Two Maids Mop?
Almost 2 years. So it'll be 2 years this coming May. And it's been probably 20 years in dog years, but 2 years since we've actually been open.
That's funny. And how many units do you have? How many territories?
Just one.
Cool. What did you do before?
For now. For now.
You got to expand, right? You got to own all of Northern Florida. How about that?
It could happen.
Yeah. So what did you do before Two Maids?
So I have a sales and marketing background. I've done medical sales, pharmaceutical sales. I did software sales. So for me, it's sales training. I've been a professor. So I've did some consulting work. So it was not a linear journey to house cleaning, but it's been an interesting adventure for sure. For sure. So
what's your greatest victory or lesson learned in business right now?
I would say my greatest victory is just keeping everybody alive some days. Back in my kind of corporate career, I was very big on this is the plan and this is how we execute and being consistent. And I had a plan. And I think it's Mike Tyson that says everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. And I have definitely learned that the days don't go according to my plan. The customers don't follow my plan. My employees don't follow my plan. So one of the things that was helpful for me to learn was how to adjust and adapt and not get stuck with what I thought should happen, and not wake up at 4 a.m. trying to think about every permutation of every option that I could possibly do, and learning to be more in the moment. And that's helped my business tremendously. It's helped my personal life tremendously. So that's been a real kind of lesson of letting go of the illusion that you're in control of everything.
And isn't it an illusion we all get stuck in?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Good. That's really great insight. I love that. What do you know now that you wish you knew before you went into business?
I wish I had known that I shouldn't be so afraid. There's a lot of, one of the reasons I did a franchise is I had left the consulting work. I was traveling a lot and I wanted to be home with my teenage daughter. And so I was interviewing, we're at the bus stop and she's like, Mom, why are you in a suit? What are you doing today? I said, I'm interviewing. She's like, Mom, you teach MBA students. Why don't you just open your own business instead of interviewing for a job? And I said, well, honey, most businesses fail. Like, that's a very hard thing. I appreciate your confidence in me, and she goes, oh, that's right, Mom. In this family, we only do things that are easy. And so I was questioning my decision to try to raise a strong, independent young lady when those words come right back in your face. And you have to recognize that what you're saying should line up with what you're doing or your kids will call you out on it. So I realized that the fear of, oh my gosh, what might happen? I might fail. Okay, so I might open a business and it might close. Okay. So but how will I ever know unless I try? So that was one of the things that how much fear had held me back from doing things.
And amazing. How did you choose Two Maids?
So I looked at a number of different businesses. And for me, when I was evaluating, one of the things that they said was, your labor pool in terms of who you're hiring is a lot of single moms who used to work retail, bartending, restaurant, and now they have kids and they want to be home nights and weekends with their kids, and you clean houses during the day when other people are at work. And I have a heart for single moms, having navigated some of that myself, and I understand what it is to have to come to work and have your kids in school and have to call out because your kid is sick. So I wanted to provide a work environment that would serve those employees. So for me, this was a great fit, and I totally get what the customer looks like because I didn't clean my house for 20 years. I had the service. I
Yeah.
know how busy. It's primarily moms that hire us. I know how busy, when you've got everybody's working and overscheduled and nobody has time to do it. So I get the customers, and I wanted to serve the employees. So to me, it was a natural fit.
That is so awesome. So you first opened up your business, and then you had what would many would deem a really bad catastrophe in your personal life, but it didn't derail.
Yes, it didn't, because so much of what happens in your life is dependent on this. Not what it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it. So I went as I would. I'm a big advocate. Go for your checkups. Go for your mammogram. So I went for my regularly scheduled mammogram, and I got the, oh, surprise, you're going to have to do surgery, chemotherapy, radiation. I pulled out my schedule. I'm like, no, I don't have time for any of that. But that's not up to me. So I said, okay, well, I'll do what I have to do, but I cannot lose focus on continuing to run the business, because if I don't work, I had a team right then of 4 teams. I had 8 people. If I don't work, they don't work. And I felt like I owed it to them to keep going. So I did what I had to do. I came to the office, and it was very painful for me to raise my hand and say, hey guys, this just happened to me. I can't do these things. I need help. And I'm not a good one to ask for help. And the team stepped up and said, I'll do the training. I'll do this. I'll field the phone calls while you're out on. And they said, we like working here. We want this to continue. Tell us what we need to do to make it work. And it was unbelievable how much they supported me and
Wow.
how we got through it. And so I was doing scheduling appointments while I was in the chemotherapy chair, and they were fielding phone calls while I was on the radiation table, and we did it together. And it was an incredible help for me to honestly have something to focus on when I felt like crap. And it was great for them to see what goes into making the business run. So it was a win. I mean, as much as something like that can be a win, we made it work.
Wow, what a story. Yeah, that's incredible. I give you
Thank you.
so much credit, Melody. That is so awesome. So, on a different note,
Yeah,
let's keep the train going here.
sure.
What's a book that you could recommend to somebody like me who needs to learn some stuff?
Oh, we all need to learn so much. There's, I would say one of the most important things in this job, in your relationship, is how you communicate with people.
Yeah.
And I find that just making sure that you're clear and consistent. And there's a great book that I'm a big fan of. It's called Crucial Conversations. And there's a corollary book, Crucial Confrontations, about how to have a structured conversation with people, especially if you're doing any kind of customer service or dealing with employees that are challenging. How to have a conversation where the stakes are high, or you're angry, or it's heated, or it's touchy. So how to navigate that. I think I've given that book probably as gifts to at least 7 different people for how to have conversations with your families, how to have conversations with your neighbors. Interpersonal interactions are tough, and I found that book to be really valuable for how to navigate those.
That's so great. Well, thank you for that. Do you have any franchise mentors?
So there are some people in the franchise, and Two Maids Mop has been incredible in terms of reaching out and people supporting each other, and the other franchisees wanting to make sure everybody has been successful. When I got my diagnosis, Anthony, my neighbor to the south in Orlando, called me and said, I have 2 managers. If you need one, if you need me to backfill, I will not let you fail. So tell me what you need and I will do it. And that's the kind of family support that I've just been so impressed with. There's a number of people that opened before I did. Vinny Corso is one of them. Lee Sheridan is one of them. And it's been every time, if I have a question, I pick up the phone. They always take my phone calls. They always take time to answer whatever questions I have. This is not a complicated business. all the problems I'm running into, other people have already run into them, and they're always happy to help me say, here's the 10 things I tried here. These 6 didn't work, try these 4. So it's been a great help to kind of get me over some of the bumps I've had to navigate.
It's a great story. Most people don't realize what a family relationship is in the franchise world. You're all working towards building equity. It's a real family. You're all the emotion that goes into the whole thing, and you all know what each other's feeling. That's the thing I miss most about being a franchisee myself, is those kind of relationships.
Yeah, and it benefits me when the other franchisees are successful. It helps us build a brand. It helps us establish, our presence. So it's in all of our best interest to help each other. Like, I want everyone to be awesome, so that it helps everybody.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, you're all building equity in the same brand, so it's all hands on deck. When the water rises, all the boats float. Right. That's
Exactly right.
So last but not least,
Yes.
for you, Melody, what advice can you give to somebody who's thinking about a franchise right now?
I would say what was helpful for me in a franchise is you don't, so much of the hard work is already done for you, all the infrastructure, all the, uh, so it's not complicated. There's a system, follow it consistently, execution every single day. Do the basic behaviors and the results will come. It's not complicated. The system's already been figured out. All you have to do is show up and do it regularly, and the success will follow.
I love that, Melody. Thank you so much for that insight.
Mm.
So thank you for being on the Franchise Frontrunner podcast. Hopefully you could convince Vinny Corso to get on and get on
Vinny
this.
will be my next phone call when we hang up, for sure.
Well, that's so great. Thank you so much. How could people get in touch with you if they want to talk with you or ask you any questions?
They are totally welcome to call me at the office. You can either email me at Oviedo, OVIEDO, at ineedamaid.com. That's INEEDAMAID.com, or they're welcome to call me 407-603-8001.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Melody. And all that's going to
My
be
pleasure.
all that information will be on the franchiseacademy.com website. Thanks for listening in to the Franchise Academy and the Franchise Frontrunner podcast. We'll see you again next time.